Welcome, welcome, welcome po to Lira in Law. Thank you very much for joining me up tonight for our usual Thursday get-together between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. Nearly Happy Easter, no? I hope you're enjoying your hopefully Easter break nga, no? And yeah, no, happy Easter sa inyong lahat. Thank you again for joining me. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat of Douglas Simon Solicitors. Abogado po ako. I've been in practice 33 years. Hindi pa kasama doon yung pag-aaral and training. 33 years. We actually we have an intern ngayon. He started with us on Monday, and he's 19 years old. Can you imagine? 19 years old. Sabi ko nga sa kanya, I have been in law practicing far longer than he's been alive. Time goes so fast, no, when you're having fun. And really, it has been, the law, the legal system has certainly had it's had its ups and downs, especially in the realms of immigration nga. But it's never boring, you know? So I suppose in that sense, it's always been fun. So time has gone so fast. And speaking of time, I must not carry on too long. Dan dami natin mga questions. Ang ganda ng mga questions natin and topic po natin, no? So as usual, pag-uusapan po natin ngayon are legal issues that concern you. And I will try to be as practical as I possibly can, and following on that. Ang question po natin is the usual. I know you very kindly emailed me your questions, so I've chosen the star question, our topic for today, from one of our questions. So star question nga natin. So babasahin ko nga lang. So let me just have a look if I can find it. No, yung star question nga natin. Let me have a look. So ito. So sabi po niya, viewer natin, sabi po niya, I've been living in the United Kingdom for the past 7 years. My husband, also Filipino, and I got married in the Philippines before we moved to the UK. Unfortunately, our relationship has broken down, and we've been living separately for a year now, sabi niya, no? I've heard that divorce is possible in the UK, but I'm not sure about the process, especially since we were married in the Philippines. If we get divorced in the UK, will it be recognized back in the Philippines? Also, I'm concerned as I'm currently on a spouse visa. Will I be able to remain in the UK or will I need to leave? Excellent question. No? It never ceases to amaze me, yung mga questions nyo, because they're practical, they're on point, and they're very relevant nga, no? So, lots of issues there. And so, can you divorce? So, kinasal kayo sa Pilipinas, can you divorce in the UK? Is that divorce going to be valid? So, in the United Kingdom, or will it be recognized also in the Philippines? No, because of course there are different jurisdictions. What else can you do? No, if you get a divorce in the United Kingdom, are there follow-up applications you can make? No, also immigration. No, sabi nga niya, no, kung spouse visa nga siya dito, how will that affect her status in the United Kingdom? So it's a great question, and lots there, lots of topics and lots of issues nga to unpack. So yung nga ang star question natin, for obvious reasons, no, it's a great question nga. So that we're going to spend quite a bit of time going through tonight. Hindi nga lang po yung question natin. We're also going to be dealing with indefinite leave to remain, to do nga with if you enter the UK on tier 2 or skilled worker route. We're also going to be dealing nga with the visa applications. No, ang dami po natin pag-uusapan nga ngayon. So lots and lots of topics and interesting ones as usual, no? So it promises to be the usual interesting night nga, no? And so I hope nga that you'll be able to keep me company throughout. Kung if I suddenly sputter, no, dahil inuubo ko, ignore me, no? I mean, I've not been very well of late, so it's if I suddenly cough, excuse, no, but I will try my best not to do so during our show nga. But if I do, ignore me. We'll plow through, no? The show must go on, sabi nga nila, no? So on that note, we're going to take a quick break. Saglit nga lang po, and then we're going to launch into our great topic and the other questions. And don't forget, batian mamaya, no? So if you're watching, you want to say hello, don't be shy. Say hello. So saglit nga lang po. Be right back. welcome back to Lira in Law, broadcasting live as usual from London, England, during our Thursday get-together between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. on Thursday evenings. Thank you very much for joining me. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat, and I am a solicitor of 33 years post-qualification experience, and my practice is with Douglas Simon Solicitors. Welcome back. Yung question po natin, star question nga natin, binasa ko kanina, is dealing with a whole load of things. But the topic essentially is married in the Philippines, divorced in the United Kingdom. No? So is that a possibility? Amongst other things, immigration, of course, with that, and financial relief, possible applications nga. Let's unpack it. So, yung viewer ko natin, question niya, Pilipino siya. Kinasal siya sa Pilipinas, ang asawa niya, Pilipino din. Tapos lumipat sila nga dito. Unfortunately, wala na sila. Relationship has broken down and they're now living separately. So, kinasal sila sa atin, pwede ba siyang mag-divorce nga sa UK? Yun ang una. Hindi nga din niya alam process daw. So, pwede pa rin ba yung kahit nga kinasal sila Pilipinas, pareho nga silang Pinoy, no? If they get divorced in the UK, is that valid also in the Philippines? No? Also, ano mangyayari sa visa niya? Yung immigration status nga niya. Because at the moment, she's on a spouse visa. Can she stay in the UK or would she need to leave? Lots of topics, which is great. No? So, let's unpack it. So, unang-una nga, if you married in the Philippines, where divorce is not recognized, wala tayong divorce sa atin, rather. No, not so much divorce not recognized because that's not necessarily, strictly speaking, correct. No? So, walang divorce nga sa atin. So, kinasal kayo sa Pilipinas, pwede ka ba mag-divorce nga dito sa UK? The answer is yes, you can, as long as you the UK has jurisdiction. When would they have jurisdiction? No? Ang question po nila is, are you habitually resident in the United Kingdom? So dito ba kayo nakatira? A little bit more than that. Habitual resident has been defined as say, you're the focus of your life. Nandito ba sa UK? Dito ka ba nagtatrabaho? Nandito bang pamilya? No? Dito ka ba nakatira effectively? No? And of course, that's often separate, or not always, but often separate nga from your immigration. And of course, and one of the things also is you have to be living in the UK for at least 1 year. So, chances are, so kung dito ka nakatira, matagal ka nga dito, spouse visa ka, it could be that you've been here, you likely have been here longer than 12 months nga, but maybe you're here on your first probationary period, o kaya the second probationary period, which means you're towards the 5 years na nga in the United Kingdom. So dito ka nakatira, dito ka nagtatrabaho, no? Ewan ko, may pamilya ka nga din dito apart from yung asawa mo nga. So if you regard the United Kingdom effectively your home, and you living in the United Kingdom, this is where your life is, then the court will likely consider you to have what's called habitual resident. Now, ibig sabihin, they will likely have jurisdiction to hear a divorce petition, no? On application nga. So, ibig sabihin nga din, they will have the power to look at divorce proceedings. So, you can therefore potentially petition for divorce in the United Kingdom. So dito mo gagawin nga. Nandito na asawa mo. So you start the process. So just very briefly, the process has been in many ways simplified since 2022. Nagbago nga ang batas. And most of the time it's done now online also. So you can simply Google it if you want. No? Divorce in the United Kingdom, and then it will take you to the relevant link in order to issue proceedings. Kailangan mo yung marriage contract mo. Okay, kailangan mo din address ng asawa mo, and you need to also say that you're petitioning out for divorce. You can even do it jointly, no? But kung hindi nga siya pumapayag and you want to start the proceedings, you can also do that. You can make a sole application. Okay. So the process is not so bad, and there's a fee payable, which I think at the moment is £593, I think. No? So you can issue your petition now in the UK. Yeah, and the court can even serve him. Kailangan mo din, it would be good if you have an email also, for your husband nga. Now, so starting divorce proceedings, and then you can finish, of course, your divorce proceedings mo. Is it then, next question mo is it then recognized nga in the Philippines? Now, that's a different thing. No? That's ating nga, there's no divorce, and you are also both married in the Philippines nga. I'm aware that there's a possibility of making an application for recognition of decree sa atin, but divorce itself, so sabihin natin divorce ka nga dito, is that automatically recognized in the Philippines? No, it's not automatically recognized necessarily in the Philippines, but of course it's valid in the United Kingdom. So ibig sabihin po, sabihin natin, kinasal nga kayo sa atin, you got a divorce in the UK, that divorce is valid in the United Kingdom, then you remarry in the UK. Of course, that remarriage or that second marriage will be valid in the United Kingdom, or should be valid in the United Kingdom, as long as you follow, of course, all the relevant process nga. But in the Philippines, it's a different thing again, because it's a different jurisdiction nga sa atin. No? So it's not an automatic recognition nga sa atin, but it would it is likely to be, divorce is likely to be valid in the United Kingdom kahit nga kinasal kayo sa atin. I know it's a little bit, it's not going to say a little bit confusing, it's actually a lot confusing, because there are different jurisdictions nga. No? And sa Pilipinas, there's no divorce, of course, but in the UK, there certainly is divorce. And as long as you're able to show nga that you are either domiciled in the UK or you are habitually resident in the UK. And it sounds like you're habitually resident in the UK. Now, hindi lang yun, no? So if you petition for divorce, then you can also make an application for what's called financial relief, no? Pera. So if you need maintenance, for example, o kaya you need lump sum, or you want to make a claim on pension nga, and the other way around, kung yung asawa mo nga gusto niya magpasok ng application for financial relief, you can also do that even though you're married in the Philippines, as long as the court in the UK has jurisdiction nga. Okay? Now, once the final order is made, otherwise known or previously known as decree absolute, then the marriage is terminated. Tapos na. Okay? But as I say, within those proceedings, you can make a claim for financial relief. And if there's a dispute about children, you can also you can also ask the court to make a decision about the children. It doesn't sound like meron kayong mga bata, no? So you can also make a financial relief claim. Now, immigration. So sa'yo, the two are quite linked. So nandito ka on a spouse visa, I'm assuming yung asawa mo indefinite na siya, o kaya even British, no, dual citizen nga siya dito, potentially. So can you, ano mangyayari sa visa mo? If you're a spouse visa holder, the fact that you separated means that it means that your relationship is no longer ongoing. So what the Home Office says, you need to tell them. And yung asawa mo nga, if he hasn't done so already, likely he's going to tell them. So that puts you in some difficulty. Now, spouse visa ka, na can you change your spouse visa to something else? Likely, no? Because spouse visa, you can change it, for example, to under the skilled worker route. So kung meron kang trabaho dito, gusto ka nalang sponsoran nga, meron silang sponsorship license, you can actually swap a spouse visa to that. Kung meron kayong mga anak, no, you can potentially swap your spouse visa to that under the parent route, for example. So ibig sabihin, because you can make you can apply to vary and extend your leave in the United Kingdom. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo kailangang umalis. You can make an application as long as you make that application during the time na may visa ka pa, na hindi ka nga overstayer. No? So kung meron trabaho, as I say, you can swap over potentially under the skilled worker route, o kung meron kayong mga anak, under the parent route. No? Because that's a good thing with spouse visas. You can potentially nga swap it. Ingat nga lang, because as soon as you become an overstayer, so sabihin natin, nalaman na nga ng Home Office na hindi na kayo nagsasama, and putulin na yung visa mo, no? So they curtail your leave to remain in the United Kingdom. If they do that and you make an application after the curtailment of your visa. Ibig sabihin, they will treat you as if you don't, well, they will treat you that you don't have a visa anymore. Pagka wala na kayong visa in the UK, naging overstayer na kayo, no? Then that will make it much more difficult to swap it to anything else. Yeah? So be careful. Alagaan mo yung visa mo. So the thing to do is, look at what can you swap it for. As I say, if you have employment that allows that, so sabihin natin, nurse ka, o carer ka dito, teacher ka nga, it could be that you can change it over to that of employment, but you should do that now. Okay? So it's not that there's no possibility anymore, but of course, it's complicado. So ang payo ko, so lots of things to note there. So una nga, yeah, it's possible that you can petition for divorce in the UK. It's even possible you can claim for financial relief in the UK, kahit nga kinasal kayo sa atin. Now, how valid your divorce is in the UK, in the Philippines, it's a separate question because different jurisdiction nga, no? But it will not be automatically recognized in the Philippines because we don't have divorce in the Philippines. No? And then, as I say, you can your immigration mo, ingat, because it could be na putulin na yung visa mo. So you should take action na nga ngayon, even though it sounds like you've been separated now. Sabi mo na 1 year nga. So be careful, but there are possibilities nga of doing it. Okay, so I hope that you can sort it out. But there are some cases nga na I would sometimes say to clients, no, kung komportable sila, yeah, no, it's the sort of issue that they may want to, they can potentially, have a go themselves nga. This is not one of them. Okay? This just there are many pitfalls potentially dito tong issue mo. So ang payo ko, see a solicitor. Okay? Even if it's just a kind of one-off advice, so that they can go through the list, as I'm trying to go through the issues, the list of issues now with you. But importante nga to meet with the solicitor, pakita mo sa kanilang passport mo, makikita nga nila yung mga papeles, and then they'll be able to provide you with definitive advice. So ingat ka. So this is not one of those issues, as I say, that I would say to clients, to potentially have a go yourself. You must take advice nga on this one, okay? Because too many things can go wrong. So it's a good idea, absolutely, to seek nga advice. Now, I hope that was helpful to you. It's a great topic, actually, and it's a fairly common topic. Unfortunately, mga tao na pasok nga sila. Even with the best will in the world, it sometimes happens that people just are unable to get on, and continue nga living together. It happens even with best will in the world. So hopefully that's of help to you, and that you find that of some comfort. Good luck. Let me know. Actually, I'd be very interested to know what takes place. Now, I hope that you enjoyed that and that was helpful nga. Let me have a look. We're now on our next segment nga, and this is my favorite segment, as you know. Hopefully, there are people about to say hello to me or saying hello and wishing me with any luck, happy Easter nga. And hopefully they're not unwell like me. So, Miss Paner! Oh, Marian Galicia Paner. Hello po, attorney, sabi niya, no? At sa lahat, happy Thursday at sa ating lahat. Happy watching all viewers. God bless. So, God bless, Miss Paner. Hopefully you're well, no? Unlike me. Yeah, may sakit akong konti. So, so hindi ganong magandang paramdam ko. So, it's, but anyway. One of those things. Oh, Ma'am Cora Carzola. Happy Thursday, sabi po niya. Happy Thursday, Madam, to our dear attorney and everyone. Holy and blessed Holy Week. Yeah, Ma'am Cora, happy Easter to you too, no? I hope that you're able to at least take a break. Happy Easter to everyone. Happy Easter. Okay? Outcast, sabi po niya. Monday, Thursday. Yeah, let's take this week as a chance to reflect and reconnect. Tama ka. Happy Easter to everyone. Yeah, exactly. Tama ka, no? Tama ka. Oh, nabalitaan niyo ba? Namatay daw si Nora Honor kahapon. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that because as a child, I remember watching her all the time. Siya at si Vilma Santos, no? Just shows you my age. Oh, guy, the great guy from London, sabi niya, a blessed Thursday. Yeah, tama. To Attorney Lira and to the viewers, work from home today, taking care of Justin. Justin is his little boy. Still good news, Attorney Lira. I'm still tap. Send ambassador. It's a money remittance to Pilipinas, no? To the Pilipinas. A bonus of £15 for the first time user. Looking forward to lots of learning again today to Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Guy, the great guy. Kamusta, Egay? I hope you're doing well and I hope that you're able to enjoy Easter, no? It's Miss Paner, sabi nga niya, I'm okay po, attorney, salamat po. Yeah, look, I mean, it's, I always say this, no, to Miss Paner, and actually, a fair few of the people nga, no, who greet, it's, I've, we've been together now, 5 years, no? Because inumpisa natin to, yung broadcast nga, during COVID, di ba? And that was, beginning of 2020, no? Beginning of 2020, my gosh, tagal na, no? Oh, Angelita Garcia, thank you, my dear Lira. You're one of the best. Love you. Oh, Ange and I, speaking of a while ago, Ange, I have known literally for decades, no? Di ba, no? Di ba, Ange, no? It's so long ago. Even before we started nga dito broadcast, which is already 5 years. Wow! Ang tagal na, no? Ang tagal-tagal na. Really, really strange. Oh, Natalia de Guzman. Missed this. No episode last week. It's so nice to be missed. Oh, I tell you, last week, may sakit ako. Actually, I'm still a little bit off nga today. But it's so nice to be missed. Nice of you to notice. It's a strange thing when I don't do Thursday. I miss it. I really do miss it. It's like it's been part of me for so long now. No, 5 years is half a decade. So it's nice of you to miss me. I'm touched. I'm so touched. Salamat po. Salamat for noticing I was not around last week. As I said, this week I could not miss it. Sabi ko nga, no. I'm still feeling a little bit under the weather, but I definitely could not miss it. I can't have two Thursdays in a row. It would just put me off my Easter weekend, you know. Now, so I think that that may be, Natalia, maybe our last greeter for the moment. So if you're watching, pero nahihiya nga kayo, don't be shy. Say hello, okay? But for the moment, let's go back to our questions because we have many. Okay, so let me just have a look at the questions nga natin. So sabi po niya, okay, now, oh yeah, so ito, the not last week but the week before, no, meron siyang question nga niya, and that was a great question. She has a follow-up question. So the week before, ang question niya, hi Tony, I have a question po, sana masagot nyo, about ILR, so indefinite leave to remain. Pwede po ba pagdugtungin ang parent visa to the FLRO spouse visa? Same family po, ama po ng anak ko, ang asawa ko, no, salamat, sabi niya. So, ang tanong nga niya, so, unang-una nga, parent visa, can that then be added to a spouse visa nga? And make up the 5 years that usually is needed for the spouse visa. And I think the 2 weeks ago, sabi ko, no, you can't add the parent route to the spouse route to make up the 5 years. Now, follow question niya, just shows you, no, that it's just the great thing is you're clearly watching, no. Follow up question niya, if you're on the 10-year route, sabi niya dito, you can so this is a quote that she's provided. If you're on the 10-year route, you can combine the time spent on both parent and partner visas towards your application for indefinite leave to remain. So ang question niya, attorney, 10-year route po ako with my parent visa before. Nag-switch ako to family, to partner route. Okay? Pwede po bang pagdugtungin ang 2.5-year parent visa to the 2.5-year spouse visa? Now, let's unpack that a little. I like this question, no? Because it's so relevant. I see this oftentimes. So, unang-una nga, parent visa siya, no? Under the 10-year route. So, I'm guessing, and this is very much a guess, na siguro you had an immigration background. Tapos, yung anak, you got a visa pursuant to your family life nga because of your child in the United Kingdom. So that was then granted under the 10-year route, because you so 10-year route means you have to do 4 times extension nga. So it's usually 2.5 years. Times 4 gives you the 10 years nga, no? So that's under the parent route. Now, in the meantime, you wanted then to swap that you then obtained a spouse visa. Nung nangyari, pinalitan mo yung visa from the parent route to the partner route, the spouse visa nga. Now, question mo, can you then, when can you apply for indefinite leave to remain? Great question. Now, you can apply for leave to remain. So, kung ang visa mo nga ngayon, spouse visa ka, no? So, family visa ka, parent 10-year route ka dati, 2.5 years nga. Now, pinalitan mo yon, you swapped it over to a spouse visa, 2.5 years ka. Question mo, when can you apply for indefinite leave to remain? You need another 2.5-year visa under the spouse visa. Okay? So, kailangan mo dugtungan yung 2.5 years spouse visa to another 2.5 years spouse visa. Pagka 5 taon ka na under that, then you can make an application for indefinite leave to remain, as long as, of course, you satisfy all the relevant conditions, like, the income nga, nagsasama nga kayo, the relationship, and of course, at that point, the B1 and the Life in the UK test, no? So, ibig sabihin, rather than go completing 10 years under the parent route, you effectively you've done the 2.5 years under the parent route, and you do another 5 years in total under the spousal route. So, ang total mo, 7.5 years. So, you need another 2.5 years under the spouse route in order to be able to apply for indefinite leave to remain. You can, of course, you can join 2.5 years plus 2.5 years under the spousal route, but you can't join the parent route with the spousal route to make up the 5 years. Hopefully that's clear. Okay, so great question though, no? And tignan mo, she's clearly she's watching all the time. So thank you for that. Okay. Now, so next question po natin. Sabi niya dito, hi po, I'm processing. Oh, I like this one. Processing my parents' tourist visa, and need to clarify something. Sabi niya, no, I send them 25,000 pesos, no, monthly, but they save it and don't spend too much. They own an 8-bedroom apartment, 2 houses, 1 rented, and farmland. Okay. Their income comes from rent and selling produce, which covers the expenses for food and medicine. They're in their 70s and they're very careful with money. Actually, that generation usually are, no? Do I need to include these properties and their income in the visa application? No? The expenses are minimal, about 700 pesos for electricity and 2,000 pesos for food, and the rental income isn't declared. Thanks, so sabi niya. Now, pagka nagpapasok kayo ng visit visa application, one of the things to be careful about is how will the Home Office look at, assess your intention, okay? So is this, when they look at applications, one of the questions, probably the first question they ask themselves is this applicant likely to overstay? So it's intention really. Is this applicant's intention to come into the UK as a visitor genuine? Okay. Now, you can't be absolutely certain how they're going to look at that, but you can, of course, give them indications. Yeah? Now, the more well off you are, the more money you have, the more self-sufficient you are, I think the more likely the Home Office will say it's probably unlikely that they will overstay. Why would they? You know? Because generally their view is the people who overstay. It's not always the case, but the people who overstay are the ones who need to make money in the UK. No, and as I say again, that's not necessarily the case, but that's generally how they approach things, nga, no. So, ang sagot ko sa iyo, no, the more the better. So, ang payo ko, statement. Right? By that, I don't mean bank statement nga. Pero statement nga, either from you, no, kung ikaw nag-iimbita sa kanila, or from your parents, because of course, yung buhay nga nila. So the statement can start with things, something along the lines of, you know, ang pangalan nila, address nila sa atin, ilang taong nga sila. So in the Philippines, our household income is generated by means of, tapos lista nyo, no? And give evidence also. Yeah? So, if the rental income is this, magkano nga, and lagay nyo dun magkano bills. You said here that it's about 2,000 pesos nga lang para sa pagkain, only 700 pesos for electricity, which means that there's a considerable surplus of kung magkano yun. No? Kung meron silang savings, lagay nyo din. No? So say that there's they are therefore, and conclude with they therefore have a comfortable living, a very comfortable living, sounds like, in the Philippines. They simply wish to be in the United Kingdom to visit you. Yun, okay? So, yeah, absolutely. Lagay nyo lahat. Actually, I would even specify it. And where you can, make sure nga that you evidence it. So, kung may negosyo nga sila, put it down. Kung meron silang farmland, note it down. Kung meron silang titulo, put it down. So, the more impressive, the better. Now, if it's impressive enough, it could even be, think about applying up for a longer visa than the usual 6 months. Now, hindi ibig sabihin, so visit visa is maximum, not minimum, maximum 180 days per visit, no? But it doesn't mean that you only just need to apply for 6-month visa. You can also apply for either a 5-year, 2-year visa, 5-year visa, or 10-year visa even, no? So what that means is kung makakuha sila ng visa, say for a visit visa for 5 years, ibig sabihin they can come in and out of the United Kingdom over that time, okay, as long as they don't spend more than 180 days each time. Yeah. So if they have an impressive financial record and they have the means now to come in and out of the UK, you may want to do that. Okay? So there you are. Hopefully they can come and keep me informed, because I wouldn't mind knowing, actually. I wouldn't mind knowing. Now, I'm sure we have other questions. So tingnan nga natin. Okay, galing to kay Carla. Oh, thank you very much for giving me your name. Oftentimes, mga viewers natin, hindi nyo binibigyan pangalan nyo sa akin. Carla, hello, no? I'm Carla, sabi niya, a Filipino living in the UK for nearly 6 years. I've been working as healthcare assistant on a Tier 2 general visa, which is set to expire in a few months, sabi niya. I've heard that after 5 years, I might be eligible to apply for indefinite leave to remain. Okay? But I'm not entirely sure about the process. I've traveled back to the Philippines twice lang during my stay, once for family emergency and once for vacation. I'm concerned that these absences might affect my eligibility for ILR, for indefinite leave to remain. Additionally, I'm a bit confused about the language requirement. I passed the IELTS exam when I first arrived in the UK, but I'm not sure if that's still valid for the ILR application or if I need to retake the test. Again, great question. So application for indefinite leave to remain. I would worry about the absences, because I mean you've only gone twice, no, in the last, it seems, 6 years nga, no, and they say there, they normally would say no more than 180 days, which is 6 month absence allowed in a consecutive 12-month period nga. So kung umuwi ka sa atin total nga 2 months lang, I wouldn't worry about it. That should not affect your application for indefinite leave to remain. As for tests, no, of course nung pumasok ka nga dito, you had to do English language nga test in order to be able to come into the UK to work nga. But when you apply for indefinite leave to remain, there are 2 that you need to undertake. There's the B1 level, which is different, likely different from the test that you took before. But anyway, when you took it, it was probably more than well, clearly it was more than 2 years ago, so you probably need to retake it again. So B1 level, yeah, at saka yung the Life in the UK test, no? So those two things kailangan mo. And you can't, they will not grant your application without that. So B1 level, Life in the UK test. Kung ako ikaw, usually when you've been in the United Kingdom that long, the B1 should not really present you with a problem. Okay, especially nagtatabaho ka naman. The life in the UK can be a bit tricky. And at the moment, mga kliyente ko, I would say it takes them on average third go, no, bago sila pumapasa. So kung ako ikaw, Carla, take the life in the UK test sooner rather than later. You'll find you need to actually study for it, but most of the time, after working towards it nga, it should be fine. And normally, as I say, average at the moment, mga kliyente ko, they pass after the third go. So give it a bit of time. And there's no expiry date, no? At least not at the moment for the Life in the UK test. So kung ako ikaw, have a go at that first, the Life in the UK test. So just Google it, no? You can take it in quite a few places nga. So Life in the UK test, and then on top of that, yung nga B1. But you'll find the B1 should not be a problem for you. The Life in the UK test may be a bit tricky. So have a go at that. Okay. So good luck. I hope that you get it. And then of course, as you know, just taking one step further, see, I always provide service, no? Pagka nakakuha ng indefinite leave to remain, kung yung status mo nga, you should be able to apply also for naturalization if you want that, to become British nga, 12 months after getting indefinite leave to remain. Okay. And again, the absences from the United Kingdom will be quite different when you make an application for naturalization. And generally, kung itong situation mo, the absences must be that you should not be absent from the United Kingdom for more than 450 days in the last 5 years, and no more than 90 days, so 3 months nga, in the last 12 months. Okay. So again, just be careful. But you barely leaving the UK, so I think you should be fine. Good luck. Let me know how you get on. Okay. Now, I'm sure we have some more questions. So tingnan ko nga ito. Ito. Okay. Good day, sabi po niya, no? I'm currently on a spouse visa and arrived here just a month ago. Oh, welcome, no? Kinasal kami ng asawa ko kung Briton sa Pilipinas. Dahil OFW ako, so overseas Filipino worker ako, noon, hindi ko na inasikaso na mapalitan ang passport ko sa married name ko. So, nung pumasok ka nga dito, single name mo, yung single name yung ginamit mo, yun lang yung nasa passport mo. Ngayon, ang concern ko po ito. Gusto ng asawa kong gamitin ko agad ang apelido niya sa council tax, utility bills, at kahit mag-apply ako ng work. May marriage certificate naman kami as proof. Yung passport, pero yung passport ko, nasa maiden name ko pa po. Ang sabi po niya, saka ko na lang palitan daw ang passport pagka na-expire na ito. Nalilito lang nga ako kung okay lang ba ito dito. At saka baka magka-problema kami in the future, lalo sa next visa application namin. Any advice or experience would really help. Salamat po. Again, great question ito. And it's something actually, I come across fairly regularly, no? Dahil ibang proseso nga sa atin, no? Ibang batas nga din natin. So, in the United Kingdom, so just to summarize, nandito siya, pasok siya dito, maiden name niya, single name niya, no? Sabi nga gusto niyang gamitin yung married name niya nga. For bank siguro, council tax, utility bills, meron ka naman marriage contract, no? Kinasal nga sila sa Pilipinas, pero yung passport nga niya under the single name. Okay ba yon? Yes, is the answer. Pwede mong gamitin yung married name mo, so ibang married name mo dun sa passport mo. Now, pagka nagpasok nga lang ng application, no? Pagka in-extend mo ang visa mo, kailangan mong explain yun. Kailangan mong lagay nga sa application form. They ask you, no, are you known by any other names? Nung mo lalagay yung married name mo. Okay? So pagka nagpasok ka ng application nga dito to extend your visa, of course, kailangan mo yung marriage contract mo ulit. I-explain mo nga din, magpapasok nga kayong council tax, no? As evidence nga na talagang nagsasama kayo, siguro magpapasok ka din ng mga bank statement, no? As evidence of your financial evidence of financial requirement compliance. No? So, kailangan mo nga lang sabihin doon, your under those bills, bank statements are in your married name. And they should pick it up anyway. No? Dahil nandun naman sa yung marriage contract mo, papasok mo naman. Ano? So it should be fine. It's the quick answer. Yeah? So you can be known under your married name and continue to keep your Filipino passport under your single name. So yeah, no, go ahead. It's don't forget though, as I say, yung marriage contract nyo, ha? Don't forget. I mean, you need that. It actually, when you make an application, it will prompt you to also include that. And also, pagka nagpasok ka ng statement, para bang affidavit, just explain that na makikita nila you've submitted documents in support of your application. Some of these documents are actually now in your married name as proof of the fact that your relationship, of course, is ongoing. No, but you're of course one of the same person. So you're okay. Now, ewan ko meron tayong mga questions actually. Tignan natin. Oh, so no more questions, but batian. So sabi po niya, galing po to kay Ann Maldia Bercasio. So hello po, sabi po niya. Oh, okay. Actually, more questions. So, planning pong apply visa for my mom. Senior na po siya at walang source of income. Maliban sa pinapadala kong allowance every month. So, yun ang yung source of income niya pinapadala. Wala din po siyang property. May pension lang po siya. Possible po bang ma-approve ang tourist visa niya? Thank you, attorney. Have a blessed Holy Week. No, to you too. Okay. Yes is the quick answer. Pero this you have to work a little bit harder. Kailangan mong explain. Yung sinasabi ko nga kanina, yung affidavit, para bang yung statement nga, explain mo doon. Kailangan magbigay ka ng statement, ha? So sabihin nga yung statement ng nanay mo, sasabihin niya nga doon ang pangalan niya, ilang taon siya, saan siya nakatira, nang inaasahan nga niya yung pinapadala mo, no? Pero komportable naman buhay niya sa atin. So you probably say na yung perang pinapadala mo, sapat naman yun, yung bahay niya, ewan ko, nababayad pa siya ng renta, nandun mayroong mga apo siya doon, may mga kapatid siya doon. So she's settled in the Philippines. She just wants to come and visit and see how you're living in the United Kingdom. Ikaw, ang statement mo, sabihin mo nga din doon, yung affidavit mo, sabihin mo nga doon, anong ginagawa mo dito, anong sweldo mo, na buwan-buwan nagpapadala ka sa atin, itong ebidensya nga ng pinapadala mo. So, komportabling nanay mo sa atin, no? Sinusigurado mo na wala nga siyang problema sa pera. Ewan ko, meron din papadala ng ibang tao sa nanay mo sa atin. Ewan ko, meron kang mga kapatid na tumutulong nga din sa'yo. So, it's for you really to convince the Home Office na even though wala nga siyang property sa atin, wala din siyang trabaho, dahil senior na nga siya, she's effectively retired, nababalik pa rin siya. Meron pa rin siyang babalikan, no? Dahil okay naman buhay niya sa atin. So sabihin niyo doon, no, saan siya nakatira, no? Komportable nga naman. Why would she overstay in the United Kingdom if she has a very comfortable life in the Philippines? So put that down, no? Importante yun. So yes, you can, but you need to work just that little bit harder. Kailangan mong explain nga lahat. Right? I hope that's helpful. And keep me informed, no? Sabihin, kung balak nyo, pupunta siya dito, say, for Christmas, no? You should really start the process now. Bagal nila nga ngayon. Okay? So, umpisa mo na, and then you probably want to submit it in the summer to allow for enough time nga na nanditong nanay mo just for before Christmas. Okay, galing po ito kay Natalia de Guzman. I hold both Filipino and British citizenship. I married my British husband in the Philippines. We later divorced in the UK. Now I'm planning to remarry in the Philippines. Can I remarry right away? Oh, great question. So, dual siya. You're dual. You married your British husband in the Philippines. You later divorced in the UK. Now you're planning to remarry in the Philippines. Can I remarry right away? Wow, what a question. Now you will probably find, so you married your British husband in the Philippines. You're dual nga. You may find that actually you may need to in fact apply for another process, which is recognition of decree. You should not have that necessarily as a problem because one of you your British husband anyway, is a foreigner. No? And I know that I think it was 2018 they introduced a law which essentially means that if the divorce is recognized, say in another country, and that allows the foreign spouse to remarry, that should that possibility should also be afforded to the Filipino spouse nga, no? But in your case, you're also British. So the answer is you may need to apply for one more process, which is recognition of decree. Okay. Great question. I hope you always tune in, Natalia, because you ask such great questions. No? Thanks for the answers. I'm your best. No, thank you for the question. No, thank you very much for the question. So it's great that you're really paying attention. No? Keeps me on my toes also. Now, tingnan ko nga if there are any other questions nga or greeters. No, I think everyone's pretty much getting ready for the Easter break. No, look, it's salamat po. Thank you for keeping me company on day before nga Easter. So sandali, let me just have a look. Oh, there's another one. Oh, guy. Oh, Attorney Lira, sabi mo, different topic but timely. Why in the news that there's now warning for burgundy color British passport? You know, guy, I don't know. It's the answer to that. For burgundy color British passport, it could be because it was burgundy before. Tapos ngayon, of course, the new ones now are blue. I think. No, is it because black passport different from burgundy? I have no idea, guy. I have no idea. Actually, I'm going to look that up. I've not come. See, the problem is I pay attention to things like, oh, namatay si Nora or no. I didn't catch that one, but I will look it up and absolutely come back to you next week on that one. No, so tingnan nga lang natin. Let me just see if there are any other questions nga that I can answer. So. Yeah. So yung nga, so it's as I say, I pay attention to things like, no, namatay nga si Nora or no. That's what I've been doing for most of today. So now, okay. Salamat po. No, again, thank you very, very much for keeping me company. And it's so nice that you missed me last week. No, as usual, of course. No, thank you for watching, and thank you for the Facebook groups nga for allowing us to post our contents nga on their pages. And yeah. For also following, no, it's alam ko po na no, time is precious. Yeah? And so good of you to share your time now with me. I'm touched, especially as it's just before Easter, and I'm sure no you're madly preparing for the Easter break now. So if kung meron kayo mga questions as usual po, no, send it to me, email me nga, no. Oh, salamat, no, to all these people saying hello. Thank you, sir, ni sabi po niya. Oh, salamat po. So it's put it aside, yung kung meron mga questions, email me by next Wednesday, and I'll make sure nga that I deal with it. And if you have if you want some bragging rights nga, no, I'll deal with it obviously as I hope to be able to deal with it as a star question nga, and like kanina nga, and we'll deal with it in much more detail. So thank you very much again, no, for keeping me company. I hope that you are well and you enjoy your Easter. Happy Easter to everyone nga. And I hope to see you next week, same time, same place at Lira and Low. Bye.